Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Morning Pulse. I'm Kelsey Marier, your host and producer of this live digital fastcast. It is Tuesday, January 20th, and I have three local headlines to bring you that impact Southeast Minnesota, Northern Iowa, or all of Minnesota, or all of Iowa in general. So we want to make sure that we bring you the news that matters to you, and then I'll also touch a little bit on the weather, because of course the weather is important as well as we are planning our day ahead, and we want to make sure that you're informed in that area as well. Today I have three headlines to bring you, and so we're going to start with an update actually to a story that we first brought you yesterday. So this is involving the crash that involved two Rochester police officers. It took place over the weekend. Well, now we are learning the names of those two officers who were hit by a car over the weekend. So both are still said to be recovering from their injuries, but those officers are identified as 51-year-old James Logan and 22-year-old Preston Satsky. Again, they work with the Rochester Police Department. Now, this crash happened around 9:10 Sunday night on Elton Hills Drive Northwest. According to information from the Minnesota State Patrol, an 18-year-old Rochester man had been driving his SUV west on Elton Hills Drive when he collided with a Chevy Tahoe first, and then he ended up hitting two officers who were on foot at the time. We're told those officers were outside of their squad car when this collision kind of took place. Both were taken to Mayo Clinic, non-life-threatening injuries to report there, but troopers do say that the road was covered with snow and ice at the time. So the update in this story for you this morning is that now we have learned the identities of those two officers who were hit by a car on Sunday night in Rochester. Next, we are heading to the state of Iowa, where lawmakers are going to be returning to the legislature today. One of the main discussions is going to be how much to fund public schools in the year ahead. Governor Kim Reynolds has already decided how much money she thinks these public schools should get. But some districts have already been making plans to kind of shut down schools due to funding and kind of enrollment challenges. But Governor Reynolds says district leaders instead need to take a look at how they've been spending federal dollars from the pandemic. The Reynolds administration saying that it has accepted and allocated more than $10 billion in COVID-related aid that's from the federal government. That information coming from the Iowa Department of Management's website. So just want to fill you in on that. The governor also says she has prioritized spending the money with the knowledge that this will just be a one-time source, not a recurring thing. The governor has proposed a 2% per student funding increase for the state's public schools. That is less than the current national inflation rate, which is sitting at 2.7%. So again, Iowa lawmakers heading back to the legislature today in Des Moines as a new week is starting after, of course, the Martin Luther King holiday on Monday. And finally, we want to let you know about a little bit of sports news this morning because it was a very eventful weekend for a couple of athletic teams in Minnesota. Once again, Minnesota dance and cheer teams dominated at this year's UDA and UCA College National Championships, which take place every year in Orlando. Again, multiple Minnesota schools bringing home trophies over the weekend for this, which is an incredible accomplishment. So we're going to start with the University of Minnesota. An amazing achievement for the dance team there, winning first place for their POM routine. This is in Division 1A. It's the fourth time in a row that they have won first place, which is just incredible. That is unheard of and clearly shows how great the Minnesota dance team is at the university. The dance team also took home third place in jazz for the Division 1A category. The University of Minnesota dance team, if you didn't know, has 23 national championships that they've won since the year 2003, and that makes the dance team the most decorated team at the university ever, and the winningest program in college dance history. Again, making history here. These athletes are on the dance team there at the U of M. The cheerleading team at the U of M also became back-to-back champions, taking first place in Division 1A small co-ed cheer game day, that category, which is super awesome. We also want to touch on some of the other schools. We're not done. Minnesota, again, did very well at the college national championships in Orlando. So Minnesota State University Mankato, its dance team, brought home first place in the Open Division Jazz for its third consecutive year, which, again, amazing, clearly. The Mavericks also won first place for its pom dance routine in the Open Division. Not done. The University of Minnesota Duluth, not far behind Mankato, the Bulldogs ended up taking second place in both of those same two categories for jazz and pom for a second year in a row. So clearly these athletes are just showing that Minnesota is a dominant force, known around the country as a dominant force for the sport of dance. So we just wanted to highlight that. Of course, this is affecting the University of Minnesota in the Twin Cities, but also in Duluth and down here in southern Minnesota at the Minnesota State University Mankato. So congratulations to all of our athletic dancers and cheer teams in the state. We are super proud, and keep going out there and showing that dance team and cheerleading is a sport, and that they deserve recognition. So wanted to bring you that really quickly. And finally, let's bring you an update on what the weather is going to be like for your Tuesday today. You're looking at our website here, kttc.com. Just clicked on the First Alert Weather tab right here at the top of the screen. When you do that, you will get an entire in-depth look at the First Alert Weather Report from any of our meteorologists working for the day. So meteorologist Ted Schmidt sharing the latest update. He says light snow is expected for later today and Wednesday, and then Arctic air is returning for this upcoming weekend. So get ready for that. He says it's going to be a frigid, sun-filled start to our day today. Temperatures are going to climb into the teens. They're not there right now. It's very cold this morning. But in the teens later today, it's going to be about a dozen degrees warmer than the readings were on Monday, which is a good thing. We can expect increasing cloud cover today, and then that will bring a light chance of snow developing just in time for the evening commute. That will last through midnight, so the evening commute going to be maybe a little dicey, and then even into the overnight hours, probably going to be a little slick and slippery as well. So keep that in mind if your travels are happening during any of those different time frames. All right, that's all the news and weather that I have for you on this Tuesday. I hope you're having a great start to your day. Welcome back to your work or school week after the holiday. I hope it's a great one, and I hope to see you right back here tomorrow for your Wednesday edition of Morning Pulse.